It's barb leech, still at home in the garden. The weather is holding up pretty good. I've done quite a few things. Put some pre-emergent down in the cracks of my patio and some slug bait down. And this is my next patient. I think I told you that I was behind in my pruning, and you can see he needs a haircut as much as I do. But I don't want to shear the plant. I want to do what they call selective pruning. And so basically what I'm going to do is look for kind of sticky outy regions. And the easiest way to do that is kind of get a side profile of the plant and see what sticks out. For example, I can use this section up here as my line, and we can see that this is sticking out a little beyond. So I'm going to run my hand into a crotch and try to find a piece that is ending at approximately my imaginary line and cut back at that crotch so the side limb becomes the new end. So I've gone ahead and taken out some of the waviness of this, and I've done that with thinning cuts, not heading cuts. Heading cuts are when you just whack it off any old place. And so I've been trying very hard to find the parts that stick out the most and cut back to the inner canopy, if you will. Still haven't done anything up here with the top. And it's harder for you to see here in the lower sections, especially when I can't hold the camera and cut at the same time. But I want you to see that if I've done my job right, the bush doesn't really look like it's been pruned. So now I'm going to go around on the back on top and see if I can actually show you what's going on. Okay, somebody's fussing at me because I'm near their bush. They must have a nest in here. So I'm hoping that you can see something with this camera just slung again from my phone case. So I'm taking the tall stuff and I'm cutting it down to a crotch with the little side branches. And the object of the game is that when I have taken that out, those little side branches just kind of cover up the place so you can't see that I have taken anything out. So for here, it's back here. This one is down in here. And the top is going to be the same principle as the side, just at a different angle. Down to the little cluster of side branches. This is a U, by the way, an upright U. Don't recall which variety. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm sure I have it in my notes somewhere, but apparently not in my brain. So you can see, I hope, that at least in this area, I'm starting to maintain my new high spot. And not every piece is the same length. Some of them are little short pieces like this. Some of them are quite lengthy, like this. But in the end, we want all of our ends to be back to that imaginary line that we drew. And if you just work your pruning shears in there and run them down the stem until they hit a crotch, you're pretty much going to get it in the right place. You don't have to be all too worried about, am I getting the exact right branch? And besides, in a bush like this where you've got so many branches, it's pretty forgiving. Okay, so I've done what I can do with these hand pruners. I'm going to have to get some loppers now. And I know this backlight is not the greatest, but I hope that you can see what I'm doing here. I've got this stuff way in the back here that has been untouched. And this is my new height here in the front. And I've also taken the sides down a little bit to reduce the width, pretty much all the way around, except for the very bottom. I got to get down and get the bottom. But I'm going to go around and get my loppers because I have learned the hard way, don't do the really obviously stupid stuff. And since I'm kind of up in the air now, I really don't want to do a bunch of climbing. So one step is one thing, but I don't do ladders anymore. Okay, here we are, about as finished as we're going to get for today. Tried to take all those high points out, back to side branches, and leave it a fairly natural shape. Depending upon what angle I look at it from, I'm sort of pleased. There's a couple of areas near the top that I'd like to take in a little bit thinner. But overall, I think it's not too bad. So I'm going to call it a day on this one and get something to drink.